finally streaming on multiple solutions. What are we going to Wow. It's mind blowing. Race you there. Hold on tight. Race you there. Hold on tight. Yeah, that guy looks nothing like me. That was so funny. Back in the days when we had Sora, and yes, we no longer have Sora, but we do have other tools to create those funny videos. You can, of course, find a tool over at meta.ai. We've got Cdance. We've got, gosh, I can't even remember half the names. If you just go to Higgs Field, you'll see so many tools available that will help you create that content, create those videos, create those solutions. And here we are building solutions for products, for things that you might even not know what is possible, right? So what are those things? How do you make it happen? It's just a matter of, number one thing you got to know is, what are you trying to get to? What is the final product that you're trying to get to? What's that destination that you're looking for? Once you figure out the destination piece, then it's all hands down game. Because once you have figured out the piece that is going to help you, once you know what the final destination is, then it becomes a lot easier to actually pull through and actually build the solution. Because again, you might want to say, like, here's the thing, right? The crazy part is, the world is a massive place, and you can literally do anything you want. There's nobody stopping you, literally nobody stopping you. The only person is probably stopping you is you yourself, and maybe people in the background that don't have the capacity or don't have the desire to do the things that you might want to do. So the number one thing you want to do, hey, I want to build, maybe you want to build a comb. So now how do you get to a comb? And if you figure out what kind of comb do you want a thicker comb, a thin one, like, you got to figure out what type of comb. Once you know those two few things of what you want to build, then you can reverse engineer to, okay, I want to build this solution, and here's the flow. For example, I picked up this really cool wallet, right? It's a aluminum. It blocks RFID, all of that good stuff. And what's cool is, guys, it's got this little lever right here that I can press, and out comes my cards that are saved in here. So somebody probably thought of this. They're like, hey, I want a sleek wallet that does not expand. A sleek wallet that I can put in my front pocket and not feel the pain. So once you figure out what you want to build, it's so much easier to reverse engineer and figure out. So I always like to put constraints on myself, on the solutions, on the things that I'm building, because that makes it so much easier to actually achieve it. So figure out what it is that you want to build. Now, somebody is hungry right now, and they probably feel like they need some food. Emery T's here. One. This is a fun one, and we gotta have some fun comments in the shows. This guy's saying, "Hey, when you're at home alone, when you are alone in the home, do you fart loud or do you keep it quiet?" You know, it all this all comes down to how your body's feeling like, right? Yeah, it's hilarious. So again, if you have an answer for that question, drop it in the chat. Um, I don't remember. I might have to pay attention to how it is that I let go of that fart. And if you're in the Eastern time zone, it is 12:15. So go get some food. Go get some lunch. I just had some delicious Hangry Joe's the other day. That hot chicken is absolutely delicious, and that in itself is the example, right? Somebody wanted to make that hot chicken. They came up with, hey, what you want to make? Here's the final product. Then they reverse engineer what are all the things that you need to get to that destination. For example, my friend Mark Ronick visited many podcast events over the years, Podfest, Podcast Movement, and he was like, I am not feeling like I belong. And I was like, what do you mean? Like it's massive. There's thousands of people at these events. And it's like, I want to create something that's much more intimate. So guess what he did? He went and created an event just for him. Not just for him, but for his community. And I'm about to show you what he's talking about. So which tab am I sharing? Oh, it's the one right here. So I am talking about the only one and only Empowered Podcasting, and I'm going to pull up the screen for you right now so you kind of see what I'm talking about. Let's bring this here. I'm just adjusting the scene behind the scenes. If I can get it right there. All right. And now I can switch that. So here it is, Empowered Podcasting Conference. Go head on over to empoweredpodcasting.com. You'll see a little video here of all the people that came there. It's happening August 21st to 23rd. In fact, in less than 40 minutes, you'll get to watch their live stream that they do every single Wednesday. You can go check it out and see what they're talking about, see who's coming. And this is, again, it's an epic event, 150 attendees. He figured out what he wanted to do. He's like, this is the final product that I want. Let's reverse engineer. So this is their third year coming on this time around. And I'm super excited to, I reduced the size of my window. See, this is why you gotta lock your windows, right? You gotta lock them in space so they don't blow up like that. Let's lock this scene real quick. Okay. So that's the event happening in less than 7 weeks. The tickets are available. You can follow them on all these different platforms. Here's more about a conference. Again, on the website, you can learn all about it. August 20th is when everything gets started. Rock and roll. You can come do early registration and have a opening and icebreaker mixer at 7 p.m. Then the full interaction and full stuff starts on Friday at 8 a.m. with registration and interactive workshops starting at 9:15 a.m. And here's what's cool. So I heard about it the first year, and I know my good buddy was going to be there. My good buddy Pat, my good buddy Alex Sanfilippo was going to be there. So I was like, hey, I got to show up. I got to meet him. I got to meet all the other people. So I showed up, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then I went again last year, and I was able to capture the videos and everything for the event. And this year, and then I also got to speak last year on the program. Here's a list of all the sponsors that are on here that are supporting the event. Wait, where's the list of sponsors? Right here. Boom. You can see Podpage, Rich Perry, Bomb Track Media, the Content Creators Accountant, the Trend Report podcast. All these folks are supporting this event. And over here, you can see the speakers, the podcast teacher, podcast morning show. That's where we actually meet every single day. In summertime, we are meeting 3 times a day, which is still a lot of fun. And Volt Productions, Maker's Machine, Cassiano Creative, Your Brand Amplified, and check it out. We got Pod Glue in the mix. That's my company. That's my software. So all of these people are going to be there. Just really exciting. And let's check out the list of speakers. We've got some amazing folks. My amazing and best friend, Heather Parody, is in the house. She's going to be speaking at this event. We've got people like Junaid Ahmed and Sid Meadows. We've got Jessica Schiller and Simona. They're doing the interactive workshops on Friday, so make sure you come to the event and check us out over there. We've got a ton of presentations from Ralph E. Stepp Jr., David Griffiths, Jennifer Longworth, Julie Levine, J.C. Durnick, Catrice Austin, Dave Jackson, a Hall of Famer, Anika Jackson, Sean Douglas. Absolutely amazing people that are going to be speaking. So go check out the website. There's even more. Nata Siltori, Remy Roy, Gordon Firemark, Chris Vaglio, Ben Albert, Cliff Ravenscraft. And what's funny is that a lot of these folks have been a guest on the Hacks and Hobbies show. And it's been an amazing journey for the past many, many years. So again, this is the event that's coming up. And what I want to jump into now is the part that I was really talking about. Like, what are we going to be talking about in tools wise? What are some of the tools that you need to have in your corner that's going to help you build the solutions that are going to change your business, right? So what's amazing is that we have access to tools that have never been around for many, many ages, right? These are brand new tools that we're getting to see, that we're getting to experience. And what's cool is that we're using just a tiny percentage of what they're capable of, right? So it all comes down to how experienced are you and how much experience can you get out from that tool for yourself. So what does that mean? Your expertise is going to dictate how deep you can go with the tool that you're using. So for example, if you're using ChatGPT and you're still stuck on just talking back and forth, it's totally fine. But you're probably finding yourself adding additional plugins. For example, you can add in tools like Canva, tools like Google, and uh, Linear, your calendar, your email, your Miro boards, like all of these things add to the experience that you're going to get back. Again, remember the thing I told you in the beginning. You got to know what your end product needs to be so that you can define that, reverse engineer the process to get to. So once you figure it out, and the beautiful part is you could be as dumb, you could be as simple as you want when you're sharing that talk with the platform, as long as you keep questioning, keep asking, hey, what if it was this way? What if it was this way? And the best thing of all is that you need to give it examples, give it links of projects. I surf the web, from Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to Threads to LinkedIn, all of these platforms, so that I can continue to learn, I can continue to teach everything that I know. Let me switch this. Yeah, I can continue to teach everything I know to you through these platforms, through these videos. And the reason why it's important is because the more I teach, the more I talk about the process, the more I talk about the tools that I'm using, the easier it becomes for me, because I might have not tested something, but the more I talk about it, the more I actually test it live. Something might be broken. I get to go fix it. I get to go solve that solution. And these tools enable us to do that every single day. So that's where we're at. We've got some more people asking me if this is AI. And I just might be AI, but you're never going to know. Maybe the sound is really cool. Sound is really clean. But again, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do the work. What matters is that you show up with confidence. You show up and work the solution, work the problem, work the problem. The more you work the problem, the easier it's going to get to that next level. Now, my uncle, he's in his 60s. I told him about ChatGPT just a couple years ago. And you're not going to believe what he's been able to do with it. He's got an entire book that he's published. And I can't wait to show what this book is about. I was just setting it up on a KDP yesterday so that we can start online sales. He's been already selling the book in person. He's sold over 100. He's sold over 150 books so far to his people, to the community. And this book is called, I gotta refresh this page, hold on. Let me pull this up. This book is in Arabic. It's got English and Arabic. So it kind of teaches you the letters and how they connect with each other. Let me bring that screen up real quick. I'm sharing a different tab. Safari. So in this video, I'm basically going to be focusing on all the different tools that I used to make his book show up on Amazon. And I am forgetting what I did right here is I need to resize this window like so. Okay. I know you can't see it, but I'm just talking to myself. And then I can lock this screen again and change this to Safari. All right, there we go. And for some reason, there's an opacity. Why was there an opacity in this video? Interesting. All right, so let's enable the share. Publish. Boom. So here's what I was talking about. This is, of course, KDP. If you've never seen it before, this is what it looks like. You've got to go through the paperback details first. So, of course, I took the book, I ran it through Claude, and I'm like, hey, give me some of the things to talk about it. And then I plugged in the description. I plugged in all of the other things here, like the keywords and the publication date, all of these things. Release date is not eligible because it was we have already published this book. All right, we're going to release it right away. So let me go ahead and save and continue. And so this is the process you've got to go through. Oh, let me just hit save and continue. This is the process you got to go through when you're publishing a book or when you're setting up the project inside of inside of KDP. I've got my own ISBN that I can add in here. I'm just gonna skip that for now because what I want to really show you is we got the manuscript loaded and they've got an entire checklist on how to do all of that. So you want to make sure that your manuscript fits in. Then you've got to get upload a cover. Now, what's cool with Amazon is that they have this calculator that kind of gives you what kind of cover do you need to create. So you go through these settings of, hey, I need it to be a paperback book. I need it to be a premium color. I want it to be white paper. Reading direction is going to be left to right. Most books in English are read from left to right. And what I was going to say, measure, units of measurement. Then you choose the trim size. So this book is 7 inches by 10 inches. And then I'm going to put the page count of 34. Then hit calculate dimensions. And this gives me an entire image of what I need to create, what I need to give it for that cover to work. And that's what you see right here in this little tiny image. I'm going to say, hey, yes, my cover has a barcode because you can see I've got a barcode in here. And then I can launch the previewer. How do you say this? Previewer. And that lets me figure out how this is going to work. So somebody's saying, I'm working on a new AI chatbot, almost ready for user testing. Thank you, Watching Kick. Interesting. Thank you, Watching Kick, for sharing. Please drop the link to your chatbot in the comments, and then we will be sure to check it out. As this cover is loading, again, once you know the end product, what you want the end product to be, it's so much easier to reverse engineer. Unless you're cooking something. But then you got to have really good taste buds to be able to reverse engineer. Hey, how do you make butter chicken? Well, you need butter and chicken. You need some masala, right? There's a lot of different elements that go into it. But again, that's what reverse engineering means. So here's the book cover in the previewer. And the book has errors. It won't meet our quality standards to publish. Okay, so what's the problem? We're unable to detect a valid barcode. Oops, I need to update the image to show the actual barcode in here. So I'll fix that. And then I can go through the entire book, one page at a time. And it looks good. So here's the meat of the book, right? So we start with Aleph, which is the first letter of the Arabic alphabet. And it talks about all of these things on how Prophet Musa alayhi salam, had his staff, right? He helped firm to that staff, and he would go down and use that staff for many different things. And so again, it's a really deep story. Not deep, but it's very well thought out. And this is the mind of my uncle, right? He loves working with words, and he loves going deeper into all of these letters, and it's just so powerful. So here we have, the letters ba and da, and then you'll see this mark over here kind of shows me where the image is going to be cut off. So I might want to move this image over in or resize the image in this space so that it doesn't cut out most of its image. But I think we should be totally fine with how it looks, because the idea is to focus on the message that's in here. So that's the book, and it's got all 32 letters, I believe, in there, or no, all 28 letters of the Arabic alphabets are in here that you can check out, and it's just really, it's really well done. So here I can exit the print previewer because it says, hey, you need to add the barcode on this page. So let's go and do that. So what tool are we going to use for that solution? So let me go back to this scene and set up a new scene that has my other tool that's opened over here already. And I can open that file. Right, is this it? This is the one. That's not it. All right, I think this might be it. So let me resize this window so it matches the other one, and then I can show you how I did it, or how we do it, right? Yes, exactly. All right, our scene for, let me turn on preview mode. Actually, I'm just gonna do it in live. So let me switch from here to Photoshop. So here we have Photoshop in the vertical and the other shot and vertical shot. So here's Photoshop, and we've got the book laid out in here. All I need to do is add the thumbnail or the blah. My brain is not working right now. I need to add this guy over here. So, and if you remembered, I had the paperback layout. I had gotten a template of what my book's going to be. So for 34 pages, this is how big the book is going to be. So this is the template that kind of gives you guidance on, hey, this part is going to cut off and this part is not going to cut off. And it also gives you the barcode location if Amazon is putting the barcode in here. But since they're not, I can place it wherever I want. But I want to place it in a place where it makes most sense. So I'll just simply place it right here. And I can now zoom in. The one thing I want to do is make sure that it matches. So all I'm going to do is in Photoshop, just select that layer, hit 5 or 4, 3, and I'm kind of doing a opacity change right here, which lets me then place this barcode in the spot that I want. And let's say I don't like this white background in this image. Well, we can totally remove that. So now it kind of almost fits in that yellow box. So the next thing I'm going to do is simply click on this magic wand tool, select the white text area or the white background. I'm going to also select the circles inside 98090 and then hit delete, and voila, I have removed the background. Of course, it was much easier because it's a white background. And now if I zoom out, I've got my barcode right where I want it. Now all I gotta do is to simply file, export as ping file. No, I want to save it as a PDF, a Photoshop PDF, and I'm gonna say with bar code so that I don't forget which one am I using. Full cover. All right, now that we have it, I can just simply click on save. It's going to say something about PDF. Here's a message about PDF. We're exporting it in Acrobat 5 format. I guess we can also save it in the latest format. Doesn't really matter, I think. Let me click on save. Yes, please save it. And now I can preview the file with a barcode, and it's there. So let's switch back over to our other scene where you can see all my desktop. And I'm going to switch to Safari. Switch back to Safari. And in Safari, I'm going to simply click on this button to upload the cover. Choose the file that we just saved. And voila, it's just going to upload that file. It is a massive 49 megabyte file. It's kind of crazy, but again, they're going to fix it in post. So now that it's here, it didn't update this thumbnail here yet, but let's go ahead and click on confirm this and launch the previewer. The previewer is, again, it's going to show us the same thing so that we can take a look at what it is that we want to see. All right, I don't know about you, but it's 12:42. We're coming close to the end of this live stream, but I want to tell you that please, please, please go and check out the live stream that's coming on right after this one. All right, so it says, we're unable to detect a valid barcode on your cover. Sure, your code is scannable. We recommend removing your custom barcode and using Amazon Place barcode. Ah, okay. So essentially what I need to do is exit print previewer. And I'm going to tell it that, hey, yes, my cover has a barcode. Size and placement. So again, you've got to troubleshoot sometimes. Right, it says to put it right here, and it's an interesting area. So I did put it in the right place, but maybe it does. Maybe it didn't like that I took out the white background. So maybe I need to put the white background back into it so it's easily scannable. Hey, I was just looking to make it look pretty, all right, but it's not liking it at all. So let me go ahead and go back to Photoshop. So is this screen? Yep. So go back to Photoshop. Do Control Z, and I'm gonna make sure that this barcode fits exactly in this 2" by 1.2" spot. like so. Actually, I can make it as big as I want, as long as it's inside the yellow. And then what you do is you grab the marquee tool and select the yellow area, and then you right click and select inverse, which means it's going to select everything outside of that one. I'm going to zoom in a little more and take out this part. Oops. I'm going to add this part over here. If you can't see what I'm seeing, then I'm sorry. I zoomed in as much as I can. But here we go. Just zoom in and crop it. And now I'm just going to hit delete. Boop. And now you've got a barcode in exactly the place that they recommend with a white background, because that's what a white background makes it a lot easier for it to be scannable. And maybe that's what I was missing. So let me go ahead and export this again. File, save as, Photoshop PDF. I'm going to overwrite that previous file, but then call it V2. And optimize for, I'm going to take that off because I don't want it to be editable again. It's just a PDF. Hit save. And that should make the file size a little bit smaller. Let me see. Where's my folders at? All right, now that it's saved, I can go back to this window and go back to here, upload my cover. Here's V2. Yep, see, that's 8.2 megabytes now. Don't need Photoshop editability in this one. And we're gonna, it's uploaded. And it says, yes, that thing has a cover. Click OK. Launch previewer. It's gonna run through the whole process again just to make sure that, hey, we're good to go. And once it's good to go, I can actually activate it to the store, which means it's going to take about, I believe, 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours before they approve it and make it live for literally everybody to go and buy the book. And then the next process after that is that we're going to, oh no, it's still giving me that error. Oh man. So, what are we going to do, guys? Look at this. Why is this so zoomed out? Look at this. The cover is all out of whack. You know what I did wrong? I changed the save file. So maybe I go back here and do file. How about, what if I just remove it? Or, no, I do need to fix it. So let's file, save as, and I'm going to save it as version 3. The only thing I'm going to change is here. I'm going to change it to Acrobat 5, I believe. I think that's where it was before. And take this part off. Embed page thumbnails. and then click save. So the file is saved. Again, I'm just adding more files to my computer. All right, so I've got the latest one, version 3. And see how it's like zoomed in all the way? I don't know what's going on, but let's go back. Because the other pages look just fine. It's just that this page, this file didn't feel right about it. So let me upload this version 3. Let's see if it updates this thumbnail. And then, all right, so it says covered successfully per accessing your file. Let's say no. And then up here, I'm going to add my own ISBN. So let me go grab that one. So I got my ISBN from Lulu. And there's a reason why I got my ISBN from Lulu as opposed to Amazon. Is because when I go from Lulu, I can publish it on many more platforms as opposed to if I were just publishing using an ISBN over at Amazon. And for some reason, they didn't let me do that this time around. So let's uncheck this. And I added my ISBN. Publisher, for example, imprint. Okay. Okay. And now it lets me do the previewer. Let's see what it says. Again, there's a lot of times you got to troubleshoot. You got to figure out what's missing. And it's really important when you have people that have gone through this process multiple times. And I don't know what you see, but let me back to live mode. All right, so let's go to this one, checking my cover for quality. It's coming back up, checking manuscript for quality. Now what's crazy is that some platforms will account for the bleed and crop. Other platforms won't. For example, on this Amazon, I gave it the manuscript file and it said, hey, this is a 7x10 thing accounting for the crop. But when I fed the same, oh, look at that. So some's not right. So what I'm do is we'll go back, exit print previewer, and I'm going to upload my cover from before. Let's see if that works. I'm going to upload the cover from before. That was working, and now that we've provided the I provided the ISBN number to the software, it's now going to process and put that stuff together for me. So manuscript ready. Now you can see it properly shown. I've got all the stuff in here. Let me go ahead and click on launch previewer and see how it looks. And then hopefully we should be able to save and continue, set the pricing, and push it out to the world. And of course, we've got to wait a few minutes to come back. So if you're still here, thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure to stick around on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and head on over to. Let's head on over to the live stream that my buddy over at thing you're doing. So here we go. The cover is good. It added the ISBN for us, and I can see all the letters: alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, zal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, dad, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, waw, ham, ha, hamza, ya. Hey, those are all the letters. So I like it. It works. I can go through all of the pages. I can hit approve. And once it's approved, we can send it out to the world. My printing cost is $4.20. And I can set whatever price I want on the next page. Look at that. So there you have it. That's how you figure out the end product, and that's how you then launch the product to the real world, reverse engineering and all that stuff. I'm going to be doing some more of these live streams, talking about the different tools that I've used to build the different properties that I've built, just because I want to teach everything I know. I should say teach everything I know, but I'm teaching everything, You know what I'm saying. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. And if you have any questions about anything at all, especially in the space of podcasting, building studio solutions, I'm your guy. Here's my little messy room behind the scenes. Let's just play around with the camera angles I have. So I've got camera 1, and then I've got, let's see if this works. Camera 2, this is a OBS bot. And camera 2 is a DSLR. Then camera 3 is a side camera over here. So I've got literally 4 cameras in front of me, and you could kind of tell this guy's like, hey, what are you talking about? If I do this, it's going to zoom in. No, this guy's waking up. No, nobody's waking. I don't know who's waking. Yeah, this guy woke up. Got in real close. Can I zoom out? Zoom out. Zoom out. There we go. And anyways, that's what we got going on. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode or next video.